New from Vinegar Syndrome is Terminal Island, which they've released on 4K UHD, which, to be honest, seems a little bit of a weird choice, but I've never seen or heard of this movie before, and I've got to imagine that it's never looked better than it does now. And I love the kind of opening conceit of this movie. It was probably a low budget effort, but I like the way they've framed this one. We open up to a news team preparing a report talking about Terminal Island. Seems that the Supreme Court has pretty much abandoned death penalties, but they've put in this new law. If you're convicted of murder, you're sent to Terminal Island, where you can be forgotten about, and whatever happens, happens pretty much. And we are kind of introduced to a lot of the characters throughout this news piece. It's really well done because it's really delivering a lot of exposition and information, but because it's done as a news broadcast, you're willing to accept it, you're willing to take it as it comes. And we get thrown onto the island with our character of Carmen, who gets to meet a doctor who was sent there, played by Tom Selleck, no less.
Stay there or I'll kill you!
Go ahead. You'd be doing me a favor.
Then we start to see the factions and how things have developed on this island. For the rest of the movie, we're on there and we get to see the bad guys and how they've got a community and how they're pretty much just using women for, well, a workforce and some entertainment at evening as well. They don't have much of a life. They're kind of dominated by the males here. And the first part of the movie was one that I really struggled to warm towards. You know, it was kind of bleak, it was dark, it was horrible in its nature, you know, just people struggling to survive and doing horrible things to each other. And there's a moment early on where this group of guys kidnap the women.
I thought you guys were dead!
We will be if we don't get out of here. Let's go!
It's okay! Come on!
Some kind of other faction in the island, but these guys turn out to be generally good guys. Mostly. They take Carmen and the other women and actually treat them as people, allowing them to be part of their society, their nomadic society, as they roam around the land. And that's kind of the crux of the movie. We're going to have these two factions battling it out like an adult Lord of the Flies, and it's as fun as you would expect. It's very quick paced, at being under 90 minutes. It's very exploitation heavy. Feels like those early 70s prison movies. Very heavy in its exploitation, but a little bit more adept at telling its story and a little bit more fun in certain sequences as well, ticking all of the exploitation boxes. You get some fun touches in this movie, directed by Stephanie Rothman, who really imbues a lot of energy into the film and creates a couple of wonderful bad guys. You've got one who's the brains and you've got one who's the brawn. I kind of like some of the little quirks that they give these characters, like the one with the brains is terrified of the dark.
Monk. Yeah, Bobby. Monk, get that thing on. Hurry up. I mean it. Hurry it up.
Stuck in an island without electricity, I can kind of understand why, and it's just a fun, interesting conceit to the film, you know, putting that on that character. The fact that there's only 40 people on this island didn't really bother me. I kind of like the idea that they've been infighting and killing each other off, and they've just got a small community left on this island, and they're kind of struggling to survive. I loved a lot of the camaraderie scenes later on in the movie, with the girls integrating themselves with the good guys and deciding to fight back against the bad element on the island, and just the way they kind of had that camaraderie. Even one of the guys who's a little bit rapey early on gets his comeuppance with some honey. That is one of the most hilarious and fun sequences within the movie. There's a great finale to this one where you get lots of explosions, lots of death, lots of characters being wiped out, and some really fun action moments within it, and some bittersweet endings to some of the characters as well. I kind of liked Terminal Island. Now, it's not a fantastic movie. It's a solid exploitation movie. It doesn't revel in enough of the genre's quirkiness to make it really stand out, but it does have a really interesting story, has some great performances and some interesting action set pieces throughout it. The one question I've got on this one is, why is it 4K? Why has this been chosen to be a UHD disc? It doesn't seem like the most obvious of choice, which is partially why I love Vinegar Syndrome and why I query some of their choices. I did enjoy Terminal Island. It was fun. Not my favourite of the month, that still goes down to Tough Guys Don't Dance, but a strong second, maybe third placed entry. I'd love to know your thoughts on Terminal Island. Let me know in the comment box below. I'll see you next time on Man v Film.